What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be breaking down why Monkey King has a 45.8% win rate. Honestly, this hero is absolutely abysmal. Even when you're facing up against really good matchups, the hero still feels quite sad. Even though this hero still has quite a bit of potential, I think he's maybe one more buff away, or maybe a couple buffs away from actually being meta again. Simian Stride is a really good facet, like no cooldown on tree dance if you're at 90% HP or above. That is really nice, especially taking it at level 1. It helps you be a lot more aggressive, and if you start out with a stick and some extra stats, so maybe a circlet and a couple of branches, you're gonna be able to trade a lot better. You're gonna be able to bridge the gap, and you're gonna be able to play extremely aggressive. So please, if you guys are a very aggressive Monkey King player, this is your time to shine. But also make sure you guys are also aware of your surroundings and you're not overextending a whole lot, because if you do overextend, there isn't a real good way of you getting out, because it's going to be on cooldown most likely, because you're going to be below that threshold. You could still get it afterwards. If you haven't received damage for a couple of seconds, you will be fine. But playing this with a very aggressive support, heroes like Winter Wyvern, heroes like Lion, these types of heroes are going to enable you a lot better, because you're going to be able to play aggressive. So play with stuns or slows, maybe a Venomancer, and you're going to have a really good time with this tree dance facet. It is really nice, and it feels really good to be able to play very aggressive on the Monkey King and being very quick, jumping around trees and getting as much value as possible from the hero. But one of the reasons why the hero isn't meta, I feel like it's because its laning phase is just not as reliable. Most of the matchups you're playing on the Monkey King are not very good for you, unless it's just one of these melee heroes like Underlord and heroes like Centaur. You are really good against these heroes, but typically the lane is going to be outweighed by the supports, and you're not going to have a really fun time in the laning phase. That can be a little bit problematic. Monkey King is not a fast farming hero. Even if you max tree dance and you're going to be able to get a lot more farm and take some stacks, he's still not a fast farmer. So you typically have to go for items like Radiance or a Maelstrom or a Battle Fury. Any of these items are going to be good. I think Radiance is in a really good spot for Monkey King. I think Battle Fury is very situational. I think it gives really good stats still, but I think Radiance is going to be a lot better, especially if you're going to be dealing with illusion heroes. But if you feel like you need to fight early, please play with the Echo Saber or with the Maelstrom. You're going to get a lot more value out of the hero early on, because some matchups you're not going to be able to sit in the jungle and farm, because your team is going to get steamrolled and they're going to need you to be online, or at least be able to take a team fight here and there with your Wukong's command. And that's honestly another facet you guys can actually take a look at, which is Wukong's Faithful. It is really good because you can get pushed out of the Wukong's arena. I believe it's 3 seconds. And it'll still stay up. So a lot of the counters that were good against Monkey King that can push him out of the arena are not as strong as they used to be, unless it's just way too far that Monkey King's not able to get there. Then you might have a little bit of an issue, but I've seen a lot of people kind of mix and matching these facets. They're both pretty good, but I think if you want to be really aggressive, you take Simian Stride. If you feel like you're going to be playing a lot around Wukong's command, then definitely take Wukong's Faithful. They're going to be a lot better. His innate ability is honestly kind of boring. It's just Mischief. I think they could have played a little bit better with this. Maybe make Jingu do a little bit more damage. I think Jingu is just not hitting as hard. I was playing Monkey King early on in the day, and it just didn't feel that strong. Even though it was up against the Centaur, which is a really good matchup for me, it just wasn't hitting as hard. I'm like, what is wrong with Monkey King? Why is this hero just not hitting as hard as he used to be? These are matchups I'm supposed to be stomping most of the time. I just don't feel like he's doing a whole ton of damage as he used to before, because getting Jingu mastery in the laning phase has always felt really good, but nowadays it just doesn't feel as strong against these really tanky heroes. Another one of my recommendations is going to be building Silver Edge. Some people don't like to build Silver Edge on Monkey King. I definitely think it's really good. It's going to help you position a better Wukong's command. It's also going to give you that break against all these tanky heroes that are in the meta, especially heroes like Lifestealer. It could definitely turn the matchup around, and it's a pretty good item. It gives you a lot of what you need. It's just a very good item for the Monkey King. And then you can finish off the build with items like BKB, Scotty, Daedalus, pretty much whatever you want in terms of damage. The more damage you get, the more it is going to be better in the late game. But my opinion is, if you guys can get through the laning phase and the mid game, you're going to be doing quite well with the Monkey King. The Monkey King late game still feels really nice. Like, the hero is still no joke in the late game, but when it comes to the mid game, it can feel a little bit rough at times, so you need to be very careful on how you're trying to play the hero. If you're trying to farm, sit back and farm and try not to join too many fights, because if you start dying a few times, it's going to feel difficult for you to come back into the game. This is a very snowbally meta, so you need to pick your fights very carefully and not overextend and not throw the game away, because you can easily throw games away nowadays with this, and especially going high ground. Monkey King is really good at going high ground because you can protect the towers with Wukong's command and kind of take a free racks because of it. Now we're going to be talking about some of the best and worst matchups for the Monkey King. Some of the best matchups are Lone Druid, Medusa, Pango, Ember. These are the matchups you're really good up against. Even heroes like Kunkka you can easily destroy from the mid lane, and from the safe lane as well. Safe lane Monkey King is strong. I think mid is very situational pick. I don't think Monkey King can be played from the mid lane as much as he used to be played before. Now he's definitely a very situational pick. It has to be that you know exactly who you're going up against, because you can easily get shit on and not be able to recover, so it's just tough. So playing safe lane Monkey King I think is your best bet. Some of the bad matchups are Zeus, Timbersaw, Viper, Muerta. These heroes will absolutely shit on you. It can feel very difficult as a Monkey King to play up against the Viper. Viper feels really strong this meta as well, so I highly don't recommend you guys to play this matchup at all. And heroes like Zeus are always going to be able to do a ton of damage from far away. You're not really going to be able to bridge the gap. It's just way too much. And Timbersaw can just, you really don't do much to the hero. Even when you have full Jingu mastery, maybe level 1, level 2, level 3, like you'll be a little bit okay against the Timber lane. But once he starts getting level 4, 5, and 6, you're just going to get kicked out of lane. And if you're playing around Tree Dance, he's just going to cut all your trees and you're going to be stunned for a million years. So these matchups are quite rough. Again, I do think the Monkey King can be played situationally and can be successful in your games, but you need to be very careful and play it against the right matchups and know exactly what you guys are doing, because you can easily grief on this hero and just lose the games just from the get-go. The hero's just not that strong right now, but with a couple more buffs I think the hero will be meta again. So hopefully they do tweak him a little bit, maybe change his innate ability. You already had Mischief before. I think they could give him something a little bit more interesting. Let me know in the comments below if you guys were to create an innate ability for Monkey King, what would that be? I think something cool would definitely be better. Maybe to help him farm a little bit faster or something like that. Maybe some slows. Something would definitely be necessary for this hero to be back in the meta. And I think his innate ability is just not great. But let me know in the comments. I would definitely like to hear your opinions down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider subscribing and joining the Dota Chronicles community. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.